For a long time now, the Yoruba people of the southern part of Nigeria have consistently advocated the restructuring of Nigeria, which is considered a cardinal and integral ingredient for the development of the country. Indeed, the need for the structural transformation of Nigeria was one of the key resolutions of the National Conference convoked by President Goodluck Jonathan in 2014. Among the over 600 resolutions arrived at the National Conference, which was reached by consensus by the 492 delegates from the country's 6 geopolitical zones, touched on critical issues which had hindered the rapid development of Nigeria. The practice of true federalism, devolution of powers, creation of additional states, adoption of the modified presidential system of government, which integrates the parliamentary and presidential systems of government. This anomalous situation, which had threatened the emplacement of equity, justice, and fairness among Nigerians, informed the call at the time for what was called the Sovereign National Conference to address Nigeria's faulty federal structure. It was President Goodluck Jonathan that mustered the political will to make what will remain the boldest political move to yield to the agitation of Nigerians to convoke the National Conference. This successful administrations have paid a lip service to over the years. It is to the eternal tribute of all those who participated at the National Conference, and posterity will judge them kindly, that they resisted the pressure to approach their assignments in a partisan way, opting instead to jettison ethnic, religious, and political considerations for what will unite and build Nigeria for the benefit of all Nigerians. Clearly, without any doubt at all, the heroes of the struggle for the convocation of the National Conference are clearly the Yoruba nation, a nation which had doggedly agitated for the forum for decades. The executive governor of Ondo State, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, who is the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, has been in the vanguard of galvanizing support and awareness among Yorubas in the different states about the advantages inherent in the implementation of the resolutions arrived at the 2014 National Conference. The grand finale of the post-National Conference Summit was held at the airport hotel Ikeja on Thursday, the 19th of March 2015. The post-National Conference Summit, which was convened by Governor Olusegun Mimiko of Ondo State with the theme "Tomorrow Begins Today," was attended by prominent people of Yoruba extraction from all the spheres of Nigeria's social, economic, political, religious, business, and other fronts. Those in attendance include Chief Reuben Fashionati, leader of the Afenifere, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, former Governor Gbenga Daniel of Ogun State, Chief Olabode George, Senator Femi Okunromu, Senator Koforo Olabokno Akerele, Dr. Kunle Olajide, Dr. Frederick Faseun, Mr. Yinka Odumaki, Professor Dupe Olatubosun, and others. The Ministers of State for Works, Prince Dayo Adeyeye, and Senator Musliu Obanikoro, Minister of State 2 Foreign Affairs, were joined by Chief Mojisoluwa Akinfenwa. Nigerians sympathetic to the Yoruba cause from other zones like the Southeast, South-South, and the Middle Belt region, led by Colonel Tony Inyam, retired, attended the post-National Conference Summit. In his welcome address, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, CON, stated that the series of meetings he had embarked upon with Yoruba leaders and others were aimed at setting an agenda for the development of the Yoruba nation and Nigeria at large, since there was a general consensus that the imbalance in the structure of the nation had retarded the growth of the country over the years.
So it is with great pleasure and delight to welcome all of you, distinguished and accomplished Yoruba people and Nigerians, to this post-national conference summit. We have committed ourselves to the organization of this post-Confab summit due to our conviction that what our dear country Nigeria needs now is a structural transformation as provided for by the resolutions of the 2014 National Conference.
Governor Olusegun Mimiko stated that he and other concerned Yoruba leaders have committed themselves to this all-important assignment which would ultimately pave the way for the Yoruba nation to define a better place for itself within the Nigerian space. Governor Mimiko stated that among the many other reasons why the Yorubas should vote for President Goodluck Jonathan, two stand out distinctly. Since President Goodluck Jonathan had the vision and conviction to convoke the national conference, the Yoruba nation should compensate him with massive votes to return him back as our president. This way, the Confab resolutions, which will fashion out a new way forward for the Yoruba nation, will be implemented.
The Yoruba nation was at the forefront of the agitation for the convocation of a national conference. At some point, the agitations culminated in calls for sovereign national conference, as many believed that it will resolve Nigeria's myriad of challenges. Needless to say that the agitation never yielded results until March last year, when President Goodluck Jonathan convoked a national conference. Convening the 2014 National Conference was indeed a historic assignment that we are proud of, and as a people, we must do everything possible to ensure that the Confab implementation gets implemented.
The chairman of the forum, 87-year-old elder statesman Pa Ayo Adebanjo, is one of the ardent disciples of the late sage Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who epitomizes all the ennobling ideals of incorruptibility and integrity, for which Chief Awolowo remains celebrated and respected by the Yoruba nation, Nigeria, Africa, and the world till today. Chief Ayo Adebanjo, who took the audience on an historical excursion into how the Yorubas, under the leadership of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, had long agitated for the restructuring of Nigeria, especially the Yoruba nation, said he was supporting President Goodluck Jonathan for no other reason than the fact that he championed the cause for the convocation of the national conference. This way, providing an answer to decades of agitation championed by the Yorubas. According to Chief Ayo Adebanjo, President Goodluck Jonathan took a political risk despite the robust opposition orchestrated against the move from many quarters. Chief Ayo Adebanjo appealed to all Yorubas to vote massively for President Goodluck Jonathan because it was under his presidency that the interests of the Yorubas will be better served.
At 27, I have no reason to be campaigning for anybody. There is nothing again I want to achieve that God has not given me. But I believe I owe a duty to generation unborn and those that are coming to tell them what they don't know. This is not a PDP platform. I am not a PDP man, and everybody knows that. But there's one interest with which I have been consistent in collaboration with my leader, Chief Awolowo. Wherever the interest of Yoruba man lies, we will go there.
Chief Ayo Adebanjo advised Yorubas to shun those it called revisionists, who are bent on drawing the Yoruba race backwards for their own personal selfish interest. The secretary of the Yoruba caucus of the 2014 National Conference, Dr. Kunle Olajide, enumerated the key areas of requests of the Yorubas to include additional states, multi-level policing, and a situation where states would have the constitutional backing to operate state police. Dr. Kunle Olajide praised President Goodluck Jonathan for the enabling environment he put in place in Nigeria. Today, democracy thrives, with more Nigerians showing interest in partisan politics without undue encumbrances, which were the hallmark of Nigeria's politics as perpetrated by previous leaders.
Well, we went to the conference. By consensus, we adopted 623 resolutions to favor Nigeria. Yorubas, we have to be proud of being Yoruba people. We were the only part of Nigeria that went to the conference with a prepared program. A lot of people call it Yoruba agenda. It wasn't Yoruba agenda. It was Yoruba's contribution to the progress, stability, and development of Nigeria. 600 and something pages. It was compiled by Dr. Amos Akingba. We took that to the conference. Our brothers from the other part did not come with a single program. All they came with was to shoot down anything the Yorubas wanted. That was the only program. But we succeeded in getting so many things through because of the Southern solidarity we had.
The Minister of State for Works and former Afenifere stalwart, Prince Dayo Adeyeye, who was at the Federal Executive Council meeting of Wednesday, the 18th of March 2015, at which the resolutions of the 2014 Confab were ratified, expressed the optimism that the recommendations of the Confab, if fully implemented, would bring about a better country under a true federal system of government. This way, the country will grow and develop more rapidly.
Last year, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan conveyed this conference, and there were no-go areas, no interference whatsoever. People predicted that Nigeria will break up on account of that confab because the extremes of the political divide, extreme right and extreme left, the ultra-conservatives, the so-called, those in the center and the most progressive were coming there. And we have divergent opinions. People said it will energize the centrifugal forces in this country and exacerbate the tensions in the country. But they were all proved wrong. At the end of the day, every decision was reached by consensus.
Prince Dayo Adeyeye also appealed to all Yorubas to vote for President Goodluck Jonathan in the next election. Mr. Yinka Odumaki, Secretary of Afenifere, said he was confident that with the step taken by the Jonathan administration to begin implementation of the Confab resolutions, the Yorubas had moved away from bondage and were now on their way to total freedom. Mr. Yinka Odumaki also called on all Yorubas to vote massively for President Goodluck Jonathan.
Just one thing I want to add, that on March 28th, when we go out there to cast our votes, we are casting our votes for our autonomy, for our freedom from bondage. That is, Nigeria must be a true federal state. And with the commitments of President Jonathan, this is the first time we're having government adopting a report 100%. No editing, no white paper, taking it as a whole. We deserve our support.
Atumagbenga Daniel, former governor of Ogun State, who also addressed the forum, said he was glad that Yorubas have now decided to take their own destiny in their hands. Atumagbenga Daniel said that the Yorubas had nothing against the House of Fulani hegemony, which was demonstrated aptly with Chief Obafemi Awolowo picking Mohammed Kura as his running mate in the 1983 elections. Atumagbenga Daniel said that President Goodluck Jonathan remained the candidate of the Yorubas in the 2015 election. He concluded that when it's the turn of the North in the 2019 elections, the Yorubas will support them, whoever the candidate is.
The tragedy of our nation, the Yoruba nation, is that in the last decade, the voices of the minorities have doused the majorities of the Yoruba land. But today, and that is why I'm thanking the people who are here, they have given us our voices back. And I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a watershed in the history of our nation. I have said it times with that number, that the Yoruba nation have nothing against the Hausa Fulanis. I have told my friends across the Niger that when it is time in 2019 for the Yoruba nation to cooperate with the Hausa Fulani, it will not be with the people that they are talking to now. These are our leaders here.
The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Senator Musli Obanikoro, who also advised all Yorubas to vote for President Goodluck Jonathan, stated that it was important too to enthrone a PDP government in Lagos State, and that is why he said he's supporting the PDP governorship candidate for Lagos State, Mr. Jimmy Agbaje.
In this country, we must restructure Nigeria. Inherent deficiencies in the constitution that we have today. But I guess that's the beauty of our convergence today, to ensure that everything humanly possible is done for good luck to emerge. And that is why the liberation must start in Lagos. I decided to support Jimmy Agbaje, but this time the mantra in Lagos will be to liberate Lagos from the lion of Babylon is a task that must be done.
Other Yoruba leaders who addressed the post-National Conference Summit convoked by Governor Olusegun Mimiko of Ondo State were Chief Mujisholuwa Akinfenwa and Professor Dupe Olatubosun, who canvassed a lot of reasons why Nigerians should not allow the country to slip back into dictatorship and therefore should reject Muhammadu Buhari and vote massively for President Goodluck Jonathan.
I think you have all heard about that. And even for that reason alone, we should all vote en bloc for our president, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, because that is the only way to guarantee the implementation of the recommendations of the Confab. You've already heard from the horse's mouth, the Honorable Minister of Works telling you that Dr. Ebele Jonathan has already taken steps to ensure the implementation.
The only person who has the courage and the force to convene the national conference is Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Not even our own son, Segun Obasanjo, who did not Segun anything in 8 years. He's my good friend, though. He's my good friend. As Bode also is my good friend. I'm not a PDP man. But I love Jonathan for many reasons. I'm not brilliant. Governor Mimiko spoke and took us down the memory lane.
They availed the audience of their travails under the autocratic military rule of General Muhammadu Buhari. Chief Akinfenwa said that he was incarcerated for 21 months at the Agodi prison, Ibadan, as a commissioner in the Bola Ige administration when the civilian government was toppled in 1983. Chief Akinfenwa said that Buhari clamped 27 of them, including late Chief Adekunle Ajashin, in a terrible 12 by 12 feet enclosure where all kinds of inhuman treatment were inflicted on them. At the end of the summit, a communique was read and adopted by the gathering. In the communique, which was read by Pa Ayo Adebanjo, President Goodluck Jonathan was commended for convening the national conference. The summit praised the conference delegates for the laudable resolutions arrived at, which will allow the creation of 9 additional states, with the presidency rotated among the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
The summit discussed, among other things, the gains of the Yoruba nation from the 2014 National Conference, mapped out the future of the Yoruba nation within the context of the 2015 general elections and the future of Nigeria, emphasizing that tomorrow begins today. At the end of the deliberation, we leaders from all the states of the Yoruba nation resolve as follows: that the Yoruba nation is committed to a united and indivisible Nigeria based on the principles of justice, equity, and the rule of law, with ample respect and understanding for cultural, religious, and linguistic differences.
The post-National Conference Summit held at the Oromiyo Hall of the Lagos Airport Hotel in Ikeja, Lagos on the 19th of March 2015 also featured a musical performance put up by the brain behind the Erujaje concept, Michael Fasomi, a pride to the Yoruba nation in the entertainment industry. Clearly, The concept and arrangement of the musical ensemble of Michael Fasomi looks like the reincarnation of the late dawn of the Nigerian theatre, Hubert Ogunde. Take a listen. With the continued support for and endorsement of the candidacy of President Goodluck Jonathan for the 2015 election by more individuals, groups, and diverse ethnic nationalities of our country, and the excellent strides of governance as seen in all sectors in spite of the unnecessary distraction of insurgency in some parts of the country, there is valid justification that President Goodluck Jonathan will coast him to victory in the forthcoming election.